We got the divisional playoffs. Cowboys being the Cowboys, still flopping and keeping that coach. And we also talk about something else. You know how we get down. It's Friday, man. So let's get it. Before we get into the divisional playoffs, I just want to kind of touch on the Cowboys real quick. I know it's like their season's over. It's like, why are we still talking about them? But we always in the news somehow, seems like. But the fact that Jerry Jones isn't going to try to make a coaching change pisses me off. And I think it pisses off a lot of us Cowboys fans who are realists. There are a lot of us who we're not super cocky. We're not talking about how we're going to win every year. It's a lot of us that have common sense. And it's like you do the same tendencies over and over and over and expect a different result. It's called insanity. If you just like I know it's early. The football season is still here, and it's like, but I don't see us doing anything that's going to get me optimistic that we're going to win a playoff game next year. And we know how we do in a regular season, and it's like I'm to the point next year where I'm going to probably be not so excited when we play. Like, I think I'm just like, and I think all us Cowboy fans, we could go 17-0 next season and go to the playoffs and flop, which wouldn't surprise me. Kind of the most amazing regular seasons of regular season history. Don't mean shit if we ain't winning a playoff game. Just saying. So, whatever. I just they make my head hurt. The organization makes my head hurt. We're as Cowboys fans, we're just tired. We're just tired. That's all. We got embarrassed by the youngest team in the league at home where we were undefeated before that game. It's embarrassing. It sucks. I'm trying to just move on. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to enjoy the rest of the playoffs. Because the Eagles are out, so I could legit enjoy the playoffs. Not really care who wins, and just enjoy the games. So let's talk about those games, shall we? Let's get off that team and let's talk about these games. We got 4 matchups. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. It's gonna be some good ones. I wanna. It's one of these games. I wanna pick an upset. I wanna pick somebody where we won't expect to get a dub. And I got a feeling it may happen Saturday. I don't know. We have the Texans and the Ravens, and we have the Packers and the Niners. We know both the Ravens and the Niners are the 1 seeds in their respective conferences. Texans and Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 9.5 according to ESPN Sports Bet. The thing is, if I had to pick out of these 2 games to see an upset, I don't want to say the Ravens because I'm rooting for the Ravens to get to the Super Bowl. But I like how the Texans play, man. They playing with house money. They just going in there playing. But I could say the same thing for the Packers as well. They're just playing, you know. I believe the Niners haven't played like all their players in like a couple weeks. But the thing is, they're rested. They're ready. You'll see how Brock Purdy does. They have, San Fran has a bunch of weapons. They're also favored by 9.5 in their game. But yeah, man, I want to pick the Ravens and Niners, honestly. I don't know. I feel like one of those games just might be an upset. I don't know which one. To be honest, if I had to pick one that's more likely, I honestly would say the Texans. Because the Ravens, they're kind of shaky in the playoffs. It's been a while since they've been. I think the last time they've really like made some noise. I know they've won a few playoff games, but I feel like the last time they made some noise is when they went to the Super Bowl against the Niners. What, years ago? It's been how long that's been? It's been a long time. I believe Kaepernick was the Niners quarterback, so I know it's been a minute. But yeah, man, I as much as I don't want the Ravens to lose, I want the Ravens to at worst get to the Super Bowl. I feel like if they get to the Super Bowl, they could probably beat anybody in the NFC. But I am gonna pick the Ravens and I am gonna pick the Niners in those two games. But the Packers, they're playing with house money, and so is the Texans. Like we talk about two teams that are really young, uh, and they're just going out there to play, man. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Those Saturday games are gonna be very, very intriguing, and I'm gonna be watching both for the most part. Um, I may be streaming probably Saturday, but I will be like my TV will be on. I'll be keeping my eye on everything. Both of those games are on. The Texas Ravens game is on ESPN, ABC, and then the Packers Niners is on Fox. It looks like all the different stations pretty much took a game. Pretty much is what's happening because in the Sunday games we have the Bucks and the Lions, and the Chiefs and the Bills. The Bucks and Lions are going to be on NBC. Chiefs and Bills going to be on CBS. Bucks and Lions. My heart, as just a fan, I want the Lions to make the Super Bowl. As a just a sports fan, I feel like Jared Goff, he's been through a lot. Obviously, the Lions organization has been through a lot through their history. It would be really, really nice for the Lions to get to the Super Bowl. I think it would be really cool. It'd be a cool story. Um, the Bucks though, um, I'm not. I'm picking the Lions in this game. They're favored by 6.5. The spread is 6.5. I mean, uh, the Bucks are interesting. The thing is, I don't know what Baker Mayfield is going to show up. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get that solid Baker Mayfield from last week. Mike Evans has been playing really well throughout the season. I think he hasn't really been talked about enough. Um, but I like how the Lions play. I love their coach. I forgot his name. Is it Dan? It's not Dan Quinn. That's our coach. It's the Cowboys coach. Defensive coach. Um, gosh, what is the fuck is his name? But nonetheless, I like Detroit's swag. You know, I like how they play. I love their coach. Their coach he's got swag. You know, he's got toughness. You know what I'm saying? They're gritty, man. I like how they play. I really love how they play. So I'm definitely kind of rooting for a Detroit Baltimore Super Bowl. Obviously since the Cowboys are out, might as well go for Detroit, right? Dan Campbell, that's his name. I knew it was a Dan. I knew it was a Dan. Dan Quinn was obviously the Cowboys. That's our defensive coordinator. Um, wow, I did not know Dan Campbell played it. I'm not so. Well, actually, I don't know why I'm shocked, but Dan Campbell played in the NFL. That's cool. Um, he actually looks so interesting. It's an old picture of him I'm looking at. He has long hair and a beard, and it's throwing me off a little bit. It's cute. Just saying. Um, but yeah, I'm going for the Lions in that game. I see them pull it out. If not a close one, I see them winning like by like 10. I got the Lions in that one. Now Chiefs and Bills is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be the first game for Mahomes on the road in the playoffs, like ever. Like they've always, the AFC is always going through Kansas City. Uh, but I kind of rooting for the Bills here. I'm kind of going for the Bills here. Like I just like to see new teams in the Super Bowl. That's all that I like enjoy. When obviously because it seems like every year I'm obviously just watching and just hoping for a good game, usually for the Super Bowl. The Bills is another team that I am kind of rooting for. Like if the Ravens don't get there, the Bills would probably be my next choice. Tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, honestly. And as much as I like Mahomes and Kelsey, I even like Andy Reid, all of them. I just like to see new people in the bowl. You know what I'm saying? So like, if some craziness of like maybe even the Texans, imagine like a Texans Packers Super Bowl. That'll be really really funny. That'll be really interesting. Two are probably the younger teams in the league. Packers being the youngest in the Super Bowl. That'd be nuts. But nonetheless, I would not mind seeing Bills. Maybe Bills Lions would be cool. Two teams that just both. I think both of them don't have a Super Bowl. Um, so that'd be cool. I'm just trying to think of cool matchups, man. Obviously, the Ravens Niners is obviously the favorite matchup. The 2-1 seeds. They've both been pretty much dominant throughout this season. Um, even though the Ravens kind of spanked them Niners when they played them. Um, I am rooting for Lamar Jackson for sure. Like I would love to see him get to the Super Bowl and get to the Super Bowl and see what happens with him and stuff. So, but this Bills Chiefs game, I'm going with the Bills. They're favored by 3. It's gonna be in Buffalo, so it's gonna be interesting to see. First road game for Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I'm really feeling these matchups this week. Obviously, with no Cowboys, I can't. It's all I got. It's all I got to do is just hope for good fun games, good fun matchups, and just games to be not you know you know officiated by the not officiated by the refs. You know what I mean? Like changed by the refs or some crazy call. You know what I'm saying? That changes the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the NFL. We had a couple of things happen in the NBA this past week. Siakam got traded to the Pacers, which I think is a huge win for the Pacers for sure. To get what's his name, Halibut, whatever his name is, the really good guard for the Pacers. He gives us some help, gives us some defensive help, which I think they needed for sure. Um, that's uh I think that's a big move for the Pacers. Also, the Warriors like assistant coach or something, he passed away from a heart attack. He was only like 46. Really young, man. But that sucks. All love to the Warriors Association, all his family and friends and everything, man. It's always sucks. That's an interesting is a thing that has plagued my life, I will say for sure. So blessings to all the people around him and everything. They've been canceling a lot of their games because it's been a lot, man. It's always a lot to deal with. Obviously, death. Uh it's always a tricky thing to deal with, depending on who you are, how the people around you and all that stuff. So mad love I don't know how to say his name. Milojic. Milojic? I'm sorry. I do not know how to say this man's name. I'm so sorry. But, all love to his family and everything, his friends, all the people around him. But yeah, we gotta take a break. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about for the second half of this. I've had some things in my mind recently, but you know. But let's just do it. We're gonna talk about something after the break. Be right back. There you go. I'm back. I I kind of want to touch on a topic that I feel like I've probably touched on before, and knowing me, I've probably said something before. We're like a good 15, 16 episodes in. It's been a nice little run. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to keep it up, keep it going. Um, um, but I've always loved the fact, especially within like the last 4 to 5 years. To be honest, it's probably been longer because I've had like plenty of like Xbox friends and people I still talk to this day. Um, People who I just value as good human beings and people that I like having around me. Um, but I will say more recently, kind of getting into the streaming universe the last like 4 to 5 years, like really getting into it. I love I love the mix of people that I talk to on a regular basis. I enjoy the fact that I'm very open to anybody for the most part. I'm not very like I like to judge people for like maybe a username or their voice or whatever, because as much as people tell me, oh, you got a nice voice, it's very soothing and all this, I can't stand my voice. I've through the years of gaming, online gaming, I've been misgendered. I feel like damn near every day that I get on comms, especially if I'm on even public comms, or even when I play with a friend who like you know, invites another friend that is somebody obviously I never met to the game, and they're confused at usually. It's been really honestly been like when I'll be on somebody's stream. somebody I'm playing with, and everybody be like, "Who's that guy? I love his laugh." And I'm to a point where honestly, it doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna lie. It used to get to me like heavy, and I was just like, I don't like being misgendered. I know I'm a woman. I know who I am. Uh, and I think that as I've gotten older, I've kind of gotten to that point in my life where I'm just happy about who I am. I'm trying to be. I still struggle, not gonna lie. There's days I wake up and I hate my face, or I feel like something's off, or you know, I think I think we all deal with it, no matter how pretty or cute you are. I feel like everybody deals with not really liking themselves sometimes, and I feel like that's completely fine. Um, but I just I think as a person, I'm just trying to grow as a person as far as like just being comfortable in my own skin. And I think that's something that I feel that we all, like I said, we all struggle with from the time to time and everything. But like I said, I love having a diverse bunch of friends, and I'm very loyal, and people who know me, they know that I would take a bullet for a lot of people that I've never even met in person, which is crazy to think. Um, but I just I kind of just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And it was just kind of on my mind because like I never like judging people because we all have different backgrounds, we all have our issues, we all have our problems. We all do. You just never know what someone's going through, and you never want to be mean off the bat. I'm never that person. I never like to be mean. Um, I like to, like I said, I always like to give people a chance. I always like to give them, you know, a chance to kind of, get to know me. Same thing with them. I don't like to leave people in the dark because a lot of times I'm around people who are very quiet. You get a balance of people. You get those people who are loud and they're talking, they're energetic, and and but then there's those people who are so hard to break or get to, not break but get to. Um, I always just like to make people feel included because I know how it feels to feel like you're not. There's times when I've been alone and I like it's times I wish I had people around me, but then it's like sometimes I don't. It's very like a weird balance, and that's probably my anxiety and all my mental health issues. I deal with depression and anxiety, bipolar disorder, all this stuff. So I have panic attacks on a regular basis. I have nightmares on a regular basis. Um, so I know what it is to like feel like you can't find your people. But I'll always say this: you'll always find your people. You'll find your people, for sure. And I don't. It took me a while to kind of get it adjusted to everything and to people and all that stuff. But you'll find your people, 100%. And I know it may not feel like it. You don't feel like you belong or you're accepted anywhere, but you will. You'll find your people. Um, I've like I said, I have such a balance and such a diverse group of friends that I really admire. I admire them, and people know who I'm around a lot. Um, who I at least talk to or pop in somebody's stream at least weekly. Y'all know who you are, and I appreciate everybody that's always like accepted me for me, and been the biggest thing that I've enjoyed too about having different types of people. No one's ever really judged me as far as at least to my face. Maybe they say things behind closed doors. It's whatever. I don't really care. I've kind of like not really started to not care about what people think about me because everybody's not gonna like you. That's just life. Like I think people sometimes forget that, and they worry about how this person's talking about me, or they're gonna say something about me, and it's like for me, I'm just like, yo, I don't care. um I'm gonna be happy who I am. I'm happy in my own skin. I'm happy to be who I am. um the more and more I get older, the more comfortable I get with myself, which is nice. I think as you get older, you start just not caring. I'm gonna let you know right now. So it's always like kids in high school, and when you're younger, you're in high school with friends, and you know you worry about somebody liking you, like as just as a friend, just somebody liking you or something like that. And I have no friends, and it's all that high school stuff doesn't usually last. Most of those people, they're 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 there, but to be honest, most of them either you know they have their own insecurities. They might not act like it. Everyone does. We all do, and to never take that stuff to heart. I probably it's not really likely I have people that young even listening to me, but just even as a person, I don't even like. I feel like you, even if you're at in like a work setting, or even like a school setting, or college or whatever, it's like, or like like I'm in a lot of obviously like discords and all that stuff, and talking to people, and it's like, don't worry about those, like the people. There's certain people that are just gonna always, they're gonna always try to make your life miserable, just be miserable because they're probably miserable. I feel like I'm talking about like 8 different topics. I'm just talking. I'm legit like, I'm looking at my phone right now. I'm playing these mobile games that have like taken over my life. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of spitting, just kind of talking a little bit, and that's what I've like doing this podcast, because I've just been able to kind of like, I talk about my sports obviously, but then like the second half, I kind of just talk about what's been on my mind lately. Um, but yeah, I do want to try to get a guest on here soon. Uh, uh, I'm hoping to get that maybe in the works within the next couple weeks. Most of my guests are probably going to be a lot of my friends. Just FYI, it's going to be a lot of people who a lot of my streamer friends that become my friends and feel like family and all that stuff. Like, it's gonna be a lot of that. I'm not cool enough to get cool, like like the famous people. One day, maybe one day. But I'm gonna end this. It's Friday. It's snowing here in Jersey. Also, everybody stay warm out there. It's cold pretty much around the country almost. Um, Whatever cold is in your area. I know we mess with us people up here in the north. We kind of mess with the southern people who are like, it's like 50 degrees. It's so cold, and it's like, we can't blame them. That's what they've been around, and we can't judge them. You know what I'm saying? So be a little nicer to our southern friends. They cold too. But I also want to say happy birthday to my homegirl Tabby. I appreciate you. We hang out all the time. I got nothing but love for you. You've always been like a big motivation for me, trying to motivate me to just be better, whether it's my content, whether it's just as a person. Uh, you deserve the world, friend, and I appreciate you dearly. Um, but but yeah, I think that's how we're just gonna end it like that. A little sappy stuff. That's sappy stuff. but But yeah, follow me on all the socials. Big Mama stuff everywhere. Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok, my Twitch. The Twitch is. I'm definitely gonna try to start Detroit Become Human this weekend for sure. Um, Obviously I'm gonna be watching the playoff games, but I'm definitely gonna be starting Detroit Become Human very very soon. Um, so look out for that on my Twitch. And I've been trying to post on TikTok a little more. My TikTok is Big Mama Stuff underscore. Remember, there's an underscore in that. Uh, but yeah, man. I hope everybody is gonna try to stay warm out there. If you're in the snow, please be safe. But yeah, man, love your faces. Stay beautiful. See you in the next one. Remember to drink your water, check on a homie, and remember you're loved. Peace.
You know, man.